Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's the Fandom Frequency Network where we discuss everything in the multiverse of pop culture, man. Wrestling, comic books, TV shows, movies, you name it, we'll talk about it. Make sure you drop us a line. Hit us up in the comments section and let us know what you thought about today's episode, what you think about the channel overall. Click that like, click that subscribe button if you're watching on the YouTube, you know what I'm saying? It always helps the show out immensely. And if you're listening on the audio podcast format, we're all over the place. Make sure you click that download button, follow our podcast feed as well so you don't miss a single episode ever. And make sure you share it with your friends, family, coworkers, and all that good jazz. But no, it's not safe for work because we be dropping F-bombs up in here. So, with no further ado, let's get into it. Stranger Things 4 Volume 2 just dropped this past weekend, over the 4th of July weekend, guys. Netflix unveiled these past 2 episodes, which were a whopping hour and 20 or 30 minutes for episode 8 and a whole 2 hours and like 20-some minutes for episode 9. So we got like nearly or just about 4 hours of content in these 2 episodes, guys. Highly anticipated. For those who don't have any background of the channel, and if you haven't noticed our recent uploads, we've been doing a whole Stranger Things binge leading up to this new season and going back and revisiting the first 3 seasons as well. I'm a huge Stranger Things fan, if you can't tell from the vest already. Much love to Eddie. We'll get into that in a bit. But I've loved Stranger Things ever since it premiered back in 2016. Been a huge fan of it from the beginning. So I was anticipating season 4 almost more than anyone I could imagine or know or have met this past couple years. I swear, man. And it didn't disappoint in Volume 1. Volume 2 had a lot to live up to stick the landing. And that was the question. Did the Duffer Brothers stick the landing? Did Netflix deliver on this 3-year gap? Is it everything we hoped for and more? Hell yes, it is. At least for this guy. I absolutely loved Volume 2 of Season 4, and Season 4 overall was so damn well done. But I'm going to do my best to just focus on these last 2 episodes here in Volume 2, and we're picking up in Episode 8. I cannot remember the title of it. Oh yeah, Chapter 8, Papa, Episode 8 here of Season 4, and we pick up with 11 and Brenner as he is explaining the potential dangers of Vecna, Henry 1, whatever you want to call him, and the whole potential threat of him breaking through the barrier and getting to our side and the upside down, essentially bleeding into our dimension and fucking up things as we know it. And as we see later on, that's exactly what happens, but we're going to get there. And overall, man, with this episode, I just loved, there's just so much things I loved, man, with this particular episode. And one of the highlights of it, for sure, was Eleven and Dr. Brenner and that whole back and forth between those 2 characters, man. And I gotta say, that was something I was very, very anxious to see at some point down the line in the series after Season 1 and after we found out in Season 2, Episode 7, that Brenner was still alive and he's still out there. So we're like, okay, holy shit, that makes sense a little bit. We didn't actually see him die. And y'all know fandom rules. If you don't see them physically die on screen, they might not be dead. So going on from there, I just loved the whole confrontation between Eleven and Brenner and her pretty much having her Empire Strikes Back Luke Skywalker moment where I'm going to go help my friends. I don't give a shit if I'm done with the training. I'm strong enough, and I'm taking out this threat. And he's like, no, 11, you're not ready. Like, no, you gotta fucking stay. He even puts a fucking like shock collar, like a power distressor collar around her or whatever, so she can't do anything to try to escape. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking crazy, man. And he tricks Owens, and then all this shit just hits the fan, man. And everything just goes to shit after that. And then 11 takes out these dudes, and just going into each of these individual kind of characters and through these story arcs in these last two episodes here for Volume 2, man. 11, my God, such a well done arc throughout not just the series alone, but especially in this season, man. Millie Bobby Brown just continues to impress and just elevate this role every time she steps into it for every new season. And she keeps finding new depth and new layers and new ways to do things with this character. And I just love the growth and the strength that she brings to this character over the course of these last few years, over the seasons, man. And I gotta say, I just loved all of that, and the way that Dr. Brenner ends up getting shot up by them dudes and taken out by the government agents or whatever, or the military, whatever you want to call them. Military, I guess. But the way that goes down, and the way that he's like, I need you to understand that I did this for you, and all this shit. And she's like, right. Well, I don't forgive you. Goodbye, Papa. I'm out of here. Yeah, man. And then just so many freaking standout moments too, in just two episodes alone with 11, man. That whole thing of her taking down the fucking helicopter was so fucking awesome, man, and so well done. And I tell you, there's so many times we just see Millie Bobby Brown with her hand out, trying to, grab some shit, flip the van over, whatever she's doing. We've seen her, doing the angry stare and everything so many times, but it never gets old because she just knows how to do it and make it interesting and so damn intense every time. And that is definitely the case here. That is one of my standout moments of the whole series right there, but especially of this season in Volume 2 specifically, man. And the whole sequence of her as doing the piggyback, as she calls it, where she formulates the plan to save Max in order to go into the kind of whatever, like, kind of mental world they kind of go into when they're using her powers, where she can kind of infiltrate 11's mind while Vecna is in there, so she can save Max from Vecna. So that's kind of the whole plan she formulates, and they end up going to one of the other Surfer Boy pizzas in the area, and he convinces the guy with a J of that strawberry sundae delight or whatever the hell they called it, giving him the J, like, hey man, we'll give you this J if you let us use the freezer, bro. We need a lot of salt and shit. Let us hook a brother up. So Argyle gets him in there, and she ends up piggybacking, as she says, using her powers to connect with Max over in Hawkins to stop Vecna from trying to take her out, to create the fourth gate and getting that fourth kill, because that's a whole big thing that we'll get into in a bit once we start talking about Vecna more specifically, man. But that whole thing of where she ends up finally getting into 11's kind of mental state or whatever, and she's like, 11, are you really here? Like, Max is like, what the fuck? Like, how are you here? And she's like, oh, I piggybacked from a pizza dough oven. And she's like, what? like that was one of the funniest jokes that, like, was it like played up to be like a serious, like a straight up joke, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was so funny. And she was like, what? A piggyback from a what? What are you talking about? And just the whole way that went down, and her whole like showdown with Vecna, man, was so freaking cool, yo. Getting those Empire Strikes Back vibes right there. And the whole thing of, like, her throwing him through the wall or whatever and throwing him through the bleachers and shit. And she's like, all right, Max, let's go. And she's trying to get him out of there and shit. And then he's like, you thought you beat me that easy? Give me a fucking break. You ain't won shit. Y'all done lost already. I'm about to kill her right now and open up this gate. You late, 11. Where the hell you been at? I'm about to win the day, bro. You can take my ass out. As long as she dies, I win. And I'm in there, and she's not taking me out. Like, Vecna's just fucking stunting on her, bro. And she's like, nah, bro, fuck that shit. And then they have their whole confrontation and everything that goes down. But, yeah, things do not go exactly as planned there. Because as we start getting into Max here in Volume 2, man, that girl just killed it with her performance in this fucking season, man. She killed it the entire season, and especially here in these last two episodes, she even brings more more greatness to the performance, man. Like, the whole thing with her, like, straight up admitting that she wanted, that, like, a part of her wanted Billy to die that day in the mall, and was kind of relieved that he did, because as we all know from season 2, when they introduce those characters, they're not blood brother and sister, and they have a very contentious and terrible relationship. So it's no surprise that Max would feel that way. But it's like, holy shit, Max. Wow. Like, you could totally see why Vecna was playing on her psychology and her trauma and guilt and her what's the word? And oh my gosh, and her grief over her brother and how she feels about him and all that good jazz. Just so well done, man. And Sadie Sink better get an Emmy nom for this goddamn series, this goddamn show, or I don't know what the hell they smoking that they ain't sharing with the rest of us, because that shit is crazy, bro. This is one of the dopest and most well done performances I have seen in any TV series that I've watched in my entire life, man. I ain't watched a ton of TV series. I'll just be full frontal right there. Ain't seen all the TV series out there, you know what I mean? I ain't even seen The Wire or all of Sopranos, so I'm not saying I'm the TV guru over here. But from what I've seen, this is one of the finest performances, but it's definitely one of the finest performances this year, hands down. I don't give a shit what anybody's got to say. Better see that go down. But the whole thing and the whole way that there's just such a heartbreaking conclusion with her, man. Freaking Vecna wins, breaks all her limbs, and kills her for about a minute or whatever. And we're like, oh shit. And then that's when shit hits the fan, bro. Fucking earthquake going up. The freaking Upside Down is bursting through Hawkins, man. And it looks like some crazy endgame level type shit. I'm like, yo, what is going on right here? Like, holy shit, homie done did it. The Upside Down's breaking through, man. And Max, what the fuck? No. Like, the second her freaking limbs started cracking and breaking and shit, I was like, oh no, why are they doing this to my girl, man? Why? And I'm just like, god damn, dude. And then by the time that 11 kind of comes in and sort of saves the day in a way and intervenes enough to stop Vecna for the meantime, and then Nancy, Steve, and Robin over in the Victor Creel mansion, or Victor Creel house, whatever you want to call it, when they're attacking him physically with the Molotov cocktails that they made and all that stuff and the explosives and shit, and they're lighting him up on fire, and then freaking Nancy over there always got the shots on point, bro, comes in and shoots the hell out of this guy with a double barrel that they got over from what was it called? Danger Zone, the freaking the weapons store. Oh man, that whole sequence with, I thought we were trying to avoid the angry Hicks here. It's like, okay. Oh man, so much fun. And then they end up running into the fucking high school bullies led by Jason over there. His crazy ass over here talking about, we got to get the Hellfires and shit. Like, you know his ancestors were in the Salem witch trials burning up people, bro. Like, you know they were in on that shit. I'm telling you, this guy's the worst. But kind of getting back on track here. Man, just such a heartbreaking conclusion with Max, bro. Like, she's like in a coma now, blind. Well, she was left blind, all her limbs broken, and now she's in a coma barely because freaking 11 worked her magic and used her abilities and went full on Grogu in Mandalorian season 1 right there and healed him up and shit. And then I was like, yo, what? Damn. But Lucas, Lucas, played by Caleb McLaughlin, man, his performance in that moment where Max falls down from getting messed up from Vecna and all that stuff, and she's like, oh my god, I can't see. And his whole reaction to when she like passes out and kind of dies for that brief moment is just so well done. It is so emotional, man, and so impactful, and you just feel it, man. And just the whole thing of him like reading her the talisman at the end of the season there, and the epilogue there in episode 9. And oh man, it's just episode 9, chapter 9, the piggyback. It's just so damn sad, man. And I don't know exactly what the Duffer Brothers have in store for Max going into this next season, but my heart's broken. I hope she makes it through this thing. I don't know about One Piece. I don't know. I guess she ought to be paralyzed for a while. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy to see where this goes, but goddamn, so well done. Hats off to the Duffer Brothers and Sadie Sink. Goddamn, broke my heart. I teared up, y'all. And you know, movies don't make me cry very easy. But going on from there, my favorite newest addition to the series right here. I even got the vest to prove it. Much love, man. Eddie Munson, what a delight. What an amazing character, man. He was such a dope introduction into the series. Really dug him overall. And a lot of people were predicting that he was going to bite it, man, going into Volume 2 here at the end of the season. And unfortunately, he did, man. He went out like a hero, you know what I'm saying? He finally stood up to his challenge. He didn't run away like he said, like, I didn't run away this time, man, like when Dustin's holding him and everything. But he goes on, he has his hero moment, and he distracts the demo bats long enough for Steve and Robin and Nancy to do their thing, and for Eleven to do her thing, saving Max, and for the whole plan to go to fruition and whatnot. And man, just so well done. And I gotta say, I love the bromance between Dustin and Eddie, man. It's just so well done and kind of reminiscent to the bromance between Steve and Dustin for sure. But it's kind of different because Dustin looks up to Eddie in a different way, and they kind of connect because they're both kind of nerdy and they're both kind of outcasts. So they both really connect in that way. But it was so awesome to see the way that Eddie pretty much told like Dustin, like, never change, man. Like, it's just great to see like how Dustin kind of brought out that hope and that positivity and kind of made Eddie a better person. You know what I'm saying? And I think if Eddie would have lived on, I think he would have definitely, in the same way as Steve, kind of cleaned up his act a little bit. I think he would have graduated, and I think he would have kind of found a better path for himself and kind of found his calling a little bit. But unfortunately, that wasn't in the cards for him, man. And I was so bummed, man. But before he went out, he had the dopest fucking moment I've seen. Like, goddamn, it's the dopest moment of the show. It's the dopest sequence I didn't see in a minute. I swear to God.
Chrissy, this is from you.
Master of Puppets playing with him on top of the upside down version of his trailer, playing with the motherfucking axe, doing Master of Puppets live with fucking demo bats flying around and shit. It was like fucking Ozzy Osbourne and Ronnie James Dio had a fucking baby and made a music video with the baby, and this was it. I'm telling you, man, it was so fucking epic. I swear, I don't know how much they paid for Metallica to let them use that, but it was so damn worth it. It is the most metal moment of all fucking time, man. It is one of the
Most metal ever!
I'm about to like watch that scene for like once a week and shit. Like, goddamn, I can't wait till it's on YouTube. I'm gonna like save it on my playlist. Like, fuck. So awesome, dude. And Joseph Quinn, the actor, actually learned to play the song. And he was actually performing some of it. I think he did pretty much all the shots other than the guitar solo, bro. That's freaking awesome. And I kind of thought so because it seemed like he was really doing those chords, man. Because I've seen Metallica perform that in video many, many times. Never live, unfortunately. But fucking awesome. I was always waiting for them because they used Metallica last season in season 3, in season 2, and then a little bit in season 3 with Kill 'Em All and all that stuff. So jumping into 86, now that Master of Puppets would have been the newest, hottest thing out there, that was just so awesome. And another great fun moment with Eddie as well was when Robin and them were looking for music to try to help Max or help Nancy find a song that can be her running up that hill so she can get away from Vecna. But they're like, what the hell is all this fucking shit? What is this shit? And he's like, this is music. It is a fucking Iron Maiden Killers cassette. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about, Robin? This is music. Because they don't listen to any of that shit except Dustin and Eddie. So they're like, what the hell is this? Where's the music? It's just so funny, man. Like, I love how, like, nobody on the Stranger Things crew is fucking with metal, man. I swear. Steve's like, Ozzy Osbourne, who the fuck's that? I'm like, oh, my God. Are you living under a rock, Steve? God damn. I usually love you, man, but you're disappointing me on that one. Come on, man. Get on it, Steve. Listen to a goddamn Black Sabbath album, why don't you? You preppy. Nah, I'm just playing. But, he was preppy back in the day. Y'all know the deal. But, yeah, man. But after all that epic, fun stuff, man, it was just so heartbreaking to see Eddie go, man. And it's becoming a trend in this damn series to see a new character introduced and then taken out and built up to be so damn likable. And I'm just like, oh, why? Why do you do this to my boy? And then the town still vilifies him at the end of the episode. And they're like, oh, fuck this guy. And then his uncle's like, my nephew didn't do that. And then Dustin's like, hey, I was there, man. I saw Eddie. He sacrificed himself to try to save the town, man. He's a hero. He's a fucking hero, man. And I was like, yo, Gaten Matazzaro, there's his Emmy moment right there, bro. Like, and I gotta say, getting into Dustin a little bit too, throwing him in here. He is so underrated as a character in this series overall, and especially in this season, man. I think he came in and had some of the best lines of dialogue. He had all the smartest ideas and revelations about what was going on. He figured out the whole thing, minus the Mind Flayer, Vecna, 5-star general thing, because it was actually flipped around. You know what I'm saying? So I like that, the brilliance of that. But I just love Dustin throughout this entire series, and they always have a fun, interesting role for him to play, and that definitely followed through here in season 4, volume 2. And it's just so heartbreaking seeing him lose his buddy Eddie like that, you know. But I love that whole back and forth with Eddie's uncle and Dustin, and him telling him like he's a hero, man. Like people need to know the truth, you know. And I know who Eddie is, and if they knew Eddie, they'd love him, you know. And I was like so fucking true because Chrissy Carpenter even saw that before she got taken out by Vecna. She was even hanging out with him a little bit because they had met previously, but he's such the metal nerd guy that, different cliques, and you know how high school is. Y'all know all that unrealistic bullshit, how all that goes. So yeah, man. So I loved that, and just getting to see how Eddie was just such a great character in this series. One of the best additions to the series, if not the best new addition outside of like the main crew. And he's always going to be one of my favorite characters of the series from now on. And you know what I'm saying? Much love to my boy. You know, I had to get the vest and all that. And hell yeah, man, I'm going to follow anything that the actor Joseph Quinn does from now on. Eddie Munson, rock on. You're a hero, man. In season 5, justice for Eddie, baby. I want the town to know. I want the town to know the truth. I want an Eddie fucking Munson statue in the goddamn Hawkins. Like, get on it, y'all. Like, I want my boy to get his justice and get his just due next season. So, come on, Duffer Brothers. Let the truth be known. Let the truth be known. But yeah, man. And getting into some of my other characters that I thought, some of the other characters that I thought had some great standout moments and just was awesome in volume 2 overall. Nancy kind of being the surrogate, kind of the Patrick Swayze to the Red Dawn kind of scenario going on here, where she's kind of taking charge and taking lead of the crew and kind of getting the plans going and everything like that, and taking charge and shooting Vecna and all that stuff. I just love how Nancy Wheeler as a character overall has grown so much over the series, and the way that Natalia Dyer plays the character. It's so endearing. It's so believable. And I love the whole Sarah Connor vibe that she totally has this season. And I think overall throughout the series, like, she is the Sarah Connor of Stranger Things. I love her in this season overall, especially in volume 2. You get all the emotional stuff with her and Steve and everything like that, and you get the and she has some great acting moments too, like when she sees the vision from Vecna and like what's about to happen and how he can kind of show her the future, which to me is also very fucking interesting, because them going to her room in the Upside Down trying to find the guns and everything being stuck in 1983, and then Vecna being able to see into the future, I'm like, oh shit, premonition type shit. That's hella interesting. Can 11 do that? Could 8 do that? Very interesting stuff. But feel like Vecna is probably the only one that can do it. But it was very interesting details there. But I love the whole performance of her coming back from the vision or whatever, because he's like, I want you to tell him I'm keeping you alive. So go tell him what's up, and I'm gonna go kill y'all later. Peace. And then she's like just freaked out, like, oh my god, dude, like, I don't know if we're gonna win this shit. And Robin even echoes the same sentiment later. And that is another character that is always so damn charming and fun to watch. Robin, love her so much, and I love her whole love thing going on with her and her crush and all that, and her kind of connecting with her at the end in the epilogue there of episode 9, and it'll be interesting to see if she finally, finds somebody for her and all that good jazz. And but I just love Maya Hawke's performance as this character. Can't wait to see what she does in the next season. And while she had more of her standout moments in volume 1 in the first 7 episodes, she was still very good here and still did what she was asked to do and was very fun to watch. But I thought episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7 especially was just so strong for Maya Hawke and Robin overall as a character, man. And got to talk about my boy Steve. You got to talk about the babysitter. And I just love the whole introspective type stuff that we get with Steve in this episode, and with him reflecting on how Nancy has impacted him as a young man and as a person, and how their relationship meant so much to him, and he would like a second chance. He would like to take another shot at it. And Nancy is definitely entertaining the idea, but I love the whole thing of him driving the RV that they end up stealing or whatever, and and them talking about how or Steve talking about how he always wanted a bunch of kids and a big family and wanted to get a Winnebago RV just like that and wanted to take them on a round trip around the states, and he always imagined Nancy being there, and he was like, "Yeah, you were always there, and I think we can make this work, and I think if you give me a chance, we can do this thing." And I just love that whole thing with Steve in this season, man. And he had his cool moments, he had his babysitter fun moments as well. But I love the whole introspective nature of Steve in this season and his arc overall. And he has had such a great um arc over the whole season and just the whole show overall. So Steve's always going to be one of my favorite characters, and you guys are definitely going to see that soon. I got a character ranking, a top 10 I'm working on that you guys are going to see pretty soon after this video drops here. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But love my boy Steve in this season as well in Volume 2. And then also catching up with our Russian gang over there with Hopper, Joyce, Murray, and Dimitri, and what the hell is that other guy's name? Yuri. All that stuff was actually pretty damn fun to watch in this part of the season. It is the stronger stuff for the most part of the season as well. I did think it was a bit dragged out. I did kind of think it was a bit silly that they ended up going back to the Russian facility to try to buy the kids time wherever they were at in Hawkins or whatever. I just thought that felt a bit convenient and a little bit stretched out and a little bit of a stretch in general. Like, you're going to go back to the fucking Russian prison? Like, I wish they kind of didn't escape from the prison and they were stuck in there with the Demogorgon and had to fight with the Russians and kind of have that whole ordeal going on. I understand that I think the Duffer Brothers wanted to get them off alone so Hopper and Joyce can have their reconnection and kind of have their romantic moments or whatever, but I do think it was a little silly for them to go back and it seems like a bit of a stretch. But overall, I enjoyed what we had with them, but wasn't necessarily my favorite plot line of my favorite plot line of the season, but definitely love watching Hopper, and he had such great acting moments when it comes to David Harbour overall. He had such great moments in this volume as well as the first volume. Love his character's arc overall. It's good stuff, but not the best stuff of volume 2, but definitely not bad. And when it comes to Will as well, I think he had some very great standout moments, like when he was kind of confessing his love to Mike in a sense without really telling Mike how he felt. But you know what's going on. And him kind of coming out but not coming out and being so conflicted about it overall, I think he does play it very convincingly, and I think he plays it in a very organic and authentic way. And I think a lot of people in the LGBTQ community out there will appreciate that, and I think will relate to Will in that sense. But I do hope that they kind of attack that more head on and kind of let it be known a little bit amongst at least his group of friends that they know what's up with Will. And he's like, at least tell Jonathan, at least tell your brother, bro. Like, come on now. Like, at least let him know what's going on, because I do think dragging that out and kind of tiptoeing around the subject a little bit, we're talking about that Kendrick, dancing around the problem type thing. I do hope that they don't do that so much in the next season, but at least Will got some great dramatic moments in Volume 2 overall. So I definitely dug that, but a little bit lacking overall in the season in general. But I liked Will for the most part, and Noah Schnapp, no problem with his acting. His acting has always been on point. I think season 2, he might be the strongest performance in the season. Just saying, that's just for me. After watching that season a few times, I do think Noah Schnapp is a bit underrated and underappreciated for his talent in those first 2 seasons. I think he is one of the main reasons why season 1 overall, too, really worked, because Will sold everything, or Noah Schnapp sold everything that was going on while in character playing Will. So, great stuff there. Can't complain about that, man. And I'm trying to see, am I missing anything here? I loved all the great romantic stuff with Mike and Eleven as well. I don't think he had necessarily the strongest arc of the whole season, but him coming around and finally professing his love to her and helping her have the or inspiring her to get the courage to fight in that moment against Vecna when all hope seems about lost was really great stuff. And I think Finn Wolfhard definitely delivered in the acting department in that scene, and I think he's a damn good actor in and of his own right. But I do think they haven't been giving him the most to do in the last couple seasons here, so kind of hoping they improve that a little bit as the show goes on and ends in its conclusion here for season 5. But yeah, man, overall, gonna end it off here talking about the big bad himself, Vecna. Goddamn, I loved this character of one, aka Henry Creel, aka Vecna. Great stuff. Jamie Campbell Bower, I believe is his name. Great stuff. that guy really killed it and nailed this role. And the whole thing of Vecna coming through here in Volume 2, just being the Thanos of this fucking situation and just bringing the doom and gloom to this thing and explaining the whole backstory of how he created the Mind Flayer out of those particles that we seen at the Russian facility. So I love how everything really does come around. You know what I'm saying? It's also well written in that regard. And he created the Mind Flayer that inevitably ended up getting that connection to Will through Vecna controlling the Mind Flayer. So the whole time, it was Henry Creel controlling that in connection with Will. And that connection is still there. Because after Nancy blows him all to hell out of the window and he escapes, Freddy Krueger mixed with Mike Myers right there, where you just see the flaming footprints and somebody's gone after falling out of a window, you're like, huh? Where the fuck this nigga go? I love that Halloween moment right there. That was so fucking cool, man. And speaking of Mike Myers, my boy Eddie Munson running around with the damn Mike Myers mask that Max gave him when they're trying to steal that Winnebago was so fucking funny, dude. I got to get that like meme and like fucking, or that GIF and save that shit and look at it like once a week. That shit is so funny, man. I love seeing him sneaking around in the background with his leather jacket on and the damn Michael Myers mask. It's so funny. I got to recreate that in a picture or something. It's so funny. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, dude, so everything with Vecna was just so damn well done in Volume 2, if not even better. You know what I'm saying? The whole confrontation between him and Eleven, so well done. That guy just really killed this role, man. And I think if Vecna follows through in Season 5 and is this strong and this intimidating and this well done, I think he's going to go on to be one of the new horror icons in the horror genre, no doubt, for sure. He's going to join the ranks of Pennywise and Sam and these more, the Creeper, you know, the more modern kind of horror slasher type characters. I think he's definitely going to follow suit in that upper echelon of those horror icons for sure. I think he has the potential to get there. But I would even say, even if Season 5 was whack for whatever reason, I still think he should be considered at least a modern horror icon at the very least, because Vecna was so well done. So well executed. The look of him and everything, much more practical than CGI, which I definitely appreciate with this series overall, but especially with Vecna. So well done. Much more, what's the word? Much more, God damn, I hate when I blank on words like that. Gosh. God damn, brain fart. What is it? It's so effective with the way that they use the practical effects to make Vecna just look like a real-ass creature that could just come out of the screen and touch you with those creepy-ass big hands and fingers of his, you know what I'm saying? And just everything was so well done with Vecna, and I just can't wait to see what state or physical being or what kind of state he's going to be in after getting burned and shot up. So going to be interesting to see where that goes. Is he going to heal himself up, you know, Wolverine style? We'll have to wait and see with Season 5, man. But overall, Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 2 is excellence. It damn near it might be better than Season 1, y'all. I got a ranking I'm going to be working on as well, ranking the seasons of Stranger Things so far. So I got to make my final decision. But Season 4, Volume 1, Volume 2 definitely gives Season 1 a run for its money, and Volume 2 did not disappoint. But I want to hear from you guys down below in the comment section below. What did you think of Season 4, Volume 2? Was the runtimes too long? Was it worth the wait? Were you satisfied with the conclusion to everything? Are you going to miss Eddie to death like I am? Let me know in the comments section below. And I would love, if anyone has any Stranger Things merch out there similar to this, the Hellfire Club shirts, anything like that, shoot me some images, man. Shoot me some pictures over there on Twitter, Instagram. Shoot us some stuff over there. At @fan_frequency on Twitter. Shoot us some pictures of your Stranger Things merch over there, Stranger Things artwork, any of that stuff. Send it on over, man. And hit us up on IG as well, at @fandom_frequency. Hit us up over there and send us all your Stranger Things artwork, merch, pictures, cosplay. You know what I mean? If you went to the immersive experience they did last year, show us some photos of that as well. Would love to see that. And we're gonna have some more Stranger Things content coming at y'all within the next week or so. Kind of wrapping things up, looking ahead to Season 5. We got a ton of great content coming for y'all this week, y'all, and for the weeks to come. Thor: Love and Thunder is right around the corner, dropping this weekend. We're gonna have a spoiler-free and spoiler review for that. Miss Marvel, we're not gonna be missing a second of that. And we got a lot of stuff coming, y'all, so don't be sleeping on the channel. Make sure you stay tuned, you don't sleep, you stay safe. Until next time, guys, rock on. Peace out.